Hey guys, welcome back to yet another Kamen Rider Geo news breakdown. As always, I'm your host of Frozen Stratos, and today we're going to be taking a look at the DX scans for Geo. These come to us via Geek Cauldron, so thanks to them for getting these images out there. So let's just dive right in to what we've got going on here. Okay, so these are pretty big images. What I'm going to do, and there's a lot of information, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the belt stuff first, then I'm going to move into the weapons, then I'm going to move into the support, like the support tech stuff, and also ride watches, and then we're going to finish off with some Rider Kicks figures. Alright, so I'm going to blow this up so we can take a closer look at these. Alright, yeah, alright, so here we have the GQ driver. This is largely what we've seen before. Some new-ish information is that you spin the driver 365 degrees in order to make the transformation happen. And then another thing to note is that the belt can display various different colors, actually. Geo is displayed as blue, Time Break is displayed as pink, and then I don't know what the heck this yellow thing is. I'm excited to find out. But we also get some more Gate stuff. We can clearly see now that he is from 2068. The text color is different from earlier scans in that it's yellow now. I'm glad that this thing can do multiple colors. I don't know why. It's just a thing that I like. And then we get some images of the holder, this season's holder. Usually it's belt mounted, but this year it's wrist mounted, and I kind of like it. And you're probably expected to buy two, considering Geo has two on each arm. This is supposed to be released with the Kamen Rider Ghost ride watch. Now, keep in mind, there are tons of white blocks just all throughout these images. That's because that's the pricing information, and that's usually blocked. Just, you know, for practices. I'm not entirely sure why. There's also going to be, presumably, the release of the holder plus the belt, so if you want to get that deal, that's available to you. Now, down here is something interesting as well. This is blocked because of the price information, so we don't get a full look at it, but this is kind of the breakdown of the Kamen Rider transformation for Geo. Now, I want to take a closer look here, and we can get kind of a look into how the transformation is going to look in the show. That looks pretty neat to me. I like the bright text against the black. I don't know, just aesthetically that really hits me. And then also, spin it 360, you do a rider kick. And then you also have how you get to transform into the Legend Riders, or at least the Ride Armors. And that looks pretty neat so far. We gotta look at build, and I love build, so, you know, that's good. And that's it for the belt information. Right now, we're going to move on into the weapon information, and, you know, there are really two new things, because we already got our looks at the G-Con grade, but what we haven't seen is the G-Con Axe, I believe. Let me get a confirmation. Yeah, G-Con Zax or Jax. It's spelled Z-A-X-E, but Geo is pronounced with a J, so I'm presuming that this is going to be called the G-Con Jax. I like it. I like the way it transforms, though it looks a bit unwieldy in its arrow formation, because the trigger is, I don't know. I do like the way it looks. It has English sounds. You, me, oh no. I'm not quite sure what those are. Probably like finishing moves. And then easily the most interesting part of this page is that we got Decade's ride watch, and he can load in extra riders. And you'd think that he'd be able to just load the ones before him. You know, his his Heisei. But we can clearly see that build is being loaded into the side, so it's going to be any rider. I don't know what that's going to do, and I'm excited to see what it is. And we also got his specialized weapon, the Hay Saber. That is a cool name. Someone pointed out on Twitter that the way that the Japanese word for saber is saberu, it's like pronounced saberu instead of saber. So the pun doesn't quite work, Hay Saber, but it works for me as an English speaker, so I like it, if that's the pun at all. And it's supposed to, like, I don't know, it comes with the Decade Ride Watch? I'm not 100% sure on this, but this is all the Decade stuff, and the focus on Decade leads me to believe that there's something extra here. Maybe he might have an added role in the show. And do note that he doesn't have the button on the top that most ride watches do. He has like this chunkier looking dial. Maybe it is a button, but to me it looks like a dial, and I wonder if that's how you change between riders. I don't know, like there are no rails on that ride watch's accepting port, so maybe the top dial is what tells you what rider is attached, but I'm not sure. Next, we're gonna take a look at some ride watches, and it's some pretty cool stuff. So we got Legend Rider stuff: Build, Ghost, Drive, Xaid, Ryuki. Who is that? Fies? Yeah, Fies. Forze, Kabuto, Hibiki, Den-O, Kiva, Blade, O's, Wizard, Agito, Gaim, Kuga, and Double. So that's not necessarily all of them, I don't think. Maybe it is. I'm not 100% sure, but these look cool. We get like closer sneak peek looks at them. I'm enjoying it. And down below here, if we can zoom in, we get our looks at the weapon, or some of the support stuff. This phone here, that's like the Fies phone, or the Fies something, but it looks almost exactly like Beat J Stag's weapon, or the Beat Busters. Beat Busters? Yeah, the Beat Busters weapon in not Beast Morphers, that's in my head, in Go Busters, right, the secondary rangers. And then we have the Taka Candroid and the Watermelon Arms, all as different ride watches. It's exciting to me, partially, but then also these things have 3D models, so like why wouldn't they reuse them? I don't know, that's just me, that's my cynical side. I'm glad to see it back, but like, why would you bring back such random stuff? Oh, because you have the 3D CG models to use. And it's really not that if you were missing that like head prop, that headpiece prop that they used in Gaim, it's probably there. And then this is an interesting thing. This is again, I'm not quite sure what this is, but it says it's DX and it comes with the Den-O thing. Presumably you put the ride watches in there and that's where you store it. Again, I'm not 100% sure on what those are. And a lot of these, a lot of the pricing information has been nixed from these. Now the ones that you can see, the ones that aren't whited out, I think those are released with other things. And we will see that later on, because Ghost, we saw that releases with the wrist-mounted stuff. The Den-O thing, that releases with the holder. And O's, that's going to be released here. Oh god, this is big too. It's released with this information, so let's just move on into the bigger picture here. This is the Time Magin, and something tells me it has something to do with Imagines, like Den-O, but then why would it come with O's? I don't know. It's weird. And like, I can tell that, like, it's putting X8 into the head. You load ride watches into this thing's head, and then I don't know if it activates sounds or anything, but it looks neat. He comes with a mecha now, which is something different, I guess. I like it. It transforms. It's interesting to me. And the color scheme makes me think that maybe this is built by Kamen Rider Genmu, or Dan Kuroto. I don't really like him, but if it's more Rider Legacy material, that's pretty neat. So you can load your Rider Kicks figure into this. What is a Rider Kicks figure? Well, it's these guys. So we're getting 2 new gimmick lines. And this is well before we get any sort of release or information from Soto. So I'm taking what I can get right now. These Rider Kicks figure, this is able to tell us the price. New price, 2,000 yen. So that's like less than $20 US before shipping. And I'm excited to get these. And one of the biggest things, it's small, for probably other people looking at this, but it's big to me. It looks like the hands aren't that dumb, like, 2-finger split thing that they've been doing with the gimmick figures. Hopefully, they took a note from Bandai America and just made them pliable plastic for the hands. It's odd praising Bandai America over Bandai Japan, but that's how it goes. It doesn't look like they're gonna have thigh swivels just because how jacked up his leg looks as he's trying to do that rider kick, but the weapons look substantial, and we get a look at how the ride watches work with Gates and Geo, or at least the ride armors, because earlier, at least for us, we thought that only Geo could use the riders with 2 gimmicks and Gates could use the riders with 1 gimmick, but as we can see here, it's on both of them, and they get different heads for each, and presumably the I don't know, it looks so weird because there's a black silhouette and a white silhouette to each of the armors, so something tells me that either they're different molds or it's like front and back, like you can have Gates on the front and Geo on the back and you just swap them. I don't know how I feel about it just yet and what sort of articulation that offers, but as we move on, we get a look at his bike, and it's a gimmick that turns into a motorcycle, because why wouldn't it be? And then here we get our looks at the two different lines, 2 different toy lines, the Rider Kicks figures silver and the Rider Kicks figures gold, and they're not, it doesn't explicitly say silver or gold, but that's the underline that they're giving it. Oops, sorry. That's the underline that they're giving it. And basically the Rider Kicks figure silver, that's for all of Geo and Gates's like different forms. And we can get a closer look at Forze, which looks insane. We got a better look at O's, who's wearing Super Tato Ba and also a tiger. And then Decade, he just looks beautiful. And if you'll note, at the top there, at the top right corner, I just noticed this myself, but it has Build's head. So I'm thinking that when you load your other Legend Rider into, or the other Ride Watch, if you have Geo, Decade, and then another Ride Watch loaded, you get the head of the rider that you're transforming into through Decade. It's so weird and so cool. I love it. And then the Rider Kicks figures gold, I'm thinking that this is just going to be like a line of figures rehashing old riders figures. These seem to be articulated, but if you'll look at Build, there's black on the inside of his arms. which makes me think he's only good in that pose. And his fingers, they're not, they're posed, they're pre-posed already. So I don't know what this is about. If you look at the legs, those look slightly jacked up because they don't have that hip swivel. So that tells me that they're articulated. But the way it's painted, the way the fingers and the hands are, it doesn't look like they come with anything for weapons or anything. It doesn't say anything about swappable hands. But our full lineup for now, you know, the first few, we got Build, Cross Z, Grease, we got Evolt. I think that's, yeah, that's his, is that his black hole form? I can't tell. No, that's not his black hole form. He doesn't have the butt cape. And then Kamen Rider Build, Rabbit Dragon, and then X-Aid. So these look good. I'm excited for these, and I might be going all in on them. I like them a lot. And then down here, the Safubi stuff. That was a leak we had earlier, and someone made a big deal about. It was kind of funny. But yeah, that's it for all of that stuff. If you stuck around till the end, thank you so much. That was a lot of news to get through. And honestly, where I stand with Geo now is I think I might be all in on both the figures, the silver and the gold. I'm going to cherry pick my favorite ride watches. Definitely going to try to snag that Decade one. That Hay Saber pun is really good. I think I might need the Saber just because of that. And then I'll probably try to get the driver on discount or something. Who knows? Anyway, that's about it for me. If you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. Guys, you've come out and support us so much. We have reached 150 subscribers, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Especially for those of you that made it this far and are here. So yeah, anyways guys, that just about does it for me. Keep it juicy.